In the dark of night, we often see and hear things that make us scared, make us feel our minds are playing tricks, make us feel we've heard or seen things that simply have not occurred. But when these same things happen in broad daylight, when we know the mind is clear, when we know the imagination is playing no part, the unexplained takes on a whole new sinister feel. For the first time, we are about to show you pictures of what is officially called a UFO. Pictures taken in Melbourne in 1992.
Say hello. Hello.
Just your average home video. Doting grandparents capturing the antics of their favourite grandson.
Big boy there.
A Friday afternoon in the suburbs. It's summer. It's sunny. But there is something strange in the atmosphere. Something mysterious that appears on the video. An unidentified object flying overhead. An object that cannot be explained in any earthly terms.
We call it a genuine UFO, an unidentified flying object. Now, I want to clarify this. It doesn't mean aliens, you know, from Mars. It's an object of some sort in control. And you might say, why wasn't it a balloon? Well, apart from the analysis, we were able to identify, you know, by looking at it, that it wasn't a balloon, and also its height. Also, we checked with the Department of Transport and with the meteorology department to see when the balloons were launched, and there was nothing in the area. But this object is, the most important quality of the object is there's some control to it, and it's airborne and it's solid, so it's unidentified in that sense.
Melbourne, home of the famous Melbourne Cup, the Olympic Games of 1956, one of the largest cities in the Southern Hemisphere. Hardly the place you'd expect to find stark visual evidence of a UFO. Pictures that have confounded international experts.
Big, he's very big and very naughty.
It's just after lunch on the 21st of February, 1992. In the backyard of his home in the Melbourne suburb of Endeavour Hills, Rex Sarakoglu is trying to tape his young grandson for the folks back home in Turkey. It's hot, and the star of the show isn't all that easy to pin down.
I love you.
After I get tired, I have to sit, because he's very naughty all the time. I'm sitting there, my camera, my hand, video camera. I saw suddenly some bright light in the sky. I think to myself, what's this?
It was, in fact, a light moving across the sky. A light that Rex saw through the viewfinder of his camera. A light his wife Fatma also observed.
Looked like a ball on the sky. A very, very pearl color and moving.
Sometimes slowly moving, sometimes very fast moving.
One chance sighting, even when you know you have it on video, is easy enough to dismiss. But 6 days later, on February the 27th, at almost the same time, the object appeared again. And again, Rex had his camera handy.
After a while, he called me and he said, I saw the same thing again, come have a look. And I went and had a look, and I saw the same one again. And he told me this is the same one as last week. I said, yes, it looks like that.
By now, Rex Sarakoglu was really confused, and he felt he had to try to get some sort of official explanation. His search eventually led him to John Ocatel, a former airline pilot and an internationally recognized UFO researcher.
What we do, we take the film and then we scan it into the computer, single frame, which it's digitised.
At the headquarters of Phenomenon Research Australia, and with the help of university colleagues, John fed the pictures into a number of computers. They enlarged, they analysed, they took atmospheric conditions, the location of the sun, even the condition of Rex's camera into consideration. And this is what the computer came up with regarding the first sighting on February the 21st.
Now, in this case, we're right up on the object. This object here is this is about 1.8 minutes of arc in width, and even at that blown up stage, there's no wing structure, no tail structure, and it's rounded. And when you put the rest put the line through it here, it's a flattened dome-like type of shape, but it's got the classical UFO shape. Varied in shape quite a bit. It was actually like spinning or toppling is the best word, around an axis. It's about 23 feet wide. It's about 13.4 kilometres from the camera at an average distance. And it's moving at about, its average speed when it was moving towards the west, away from the camera, was about 300 kilometres an hour. So it wasn't going very fast at all. That's why Rex was able to monitor it for quite a while.
Actually, Rex was able to monitor it for 2, maybe 3 minutes. But what about the height of the object? 13.4 kilometres is about 8 miles. And, according to John Ockertell, that's Concorde, supersonic territory. He says that kind of aircraft would naturally have been tracked by Australian aviation authorities.
Because at that height, when they get to that height over Melbourne, they must carry a flight plan, and there was nothing unusual, and there was nothing in the area at that time.
With more help from computer enhancement, John Ockertell was able to produce these remarkable still frames of the object. They helped convince him this was, in fact, a UFO. It was not a conventional aircraft. It was not a balloon. And as far as John could tell, it was not the result of a fault in Rex's camera.
We could find no emulsion problems or, problems with the tape. It wasn't a hoax, and the extraordinary thing to this was that it was a daylight sighting. That was the most important thing about this, and it's a genuine sighting.
Then there was the second sighting, the second video, taken on the afternoon of February the 27th.
So the times are very similar, and also the first and second objects are very similar in dimension and shape and doing nearly identical things, moving in also nearly the identical track. And you also note that they move off towards the antenna, then they both curl away and move off. The second one then moves off north, where the other one went west. But the interesting thing is it's nearly exactly the same thing, and he's captured the same UFO at different periods, one on the 21st and one on the 27th.
So what began as a simple family video on a summer's afternoon in Melbourne has become a scientific conundrum. The same object, in the same place, at almost the same time, sighted and taped.